Nebraska's schedule this week is Wednesday at Creighton at 6:30 on FS1, and then Saturday at home against number 19 Utah at 7:30.
Big week for the Huskers. I'm worried this mask isn't working because I can smell that pizza down there on the second floor. We survived the weekend. We got better as the weekend went on. We're starting to look like a volleyball team, and you're starting to get in a rhythm. So that's good. You know, a lot of that starts with Nicklin, and thought she just got better Saturday as the day went on. Creighton, I don't know what they're ranked this week, but I'd vote them second. So they've had the most impressive preseason up to this point of anybody besides Texas. So we got our hands full. It'll be a great challenge. I'm sure there'll be a great crowd up there tonight. Thing that I always am thankful for and admire and respect is, you know, we've got two basically top 10, top 15 volleyball teams going at it in the state of Nebraska. And then you throw in Nebraska-Omaha, who had a phenomenal weekend, even though they were 1-2. But man, they played great volleyball. They took 2 teams to 5, including us, and then beat Georgia. So what a great weekend for them. Just makes me proud to be a part of Nebraska volleyball in this state, from YMCA all the way up to the Division I colleges. No, I think the other thing is Utah Saturday, and we've had some great matches with them. They have a great player. Danny Drews is worth the price of admission.
Questions?
Have you got to see much of Creighton? Like, what stands out about them?
They're just very balanced. They play good volleyball like they always do. They're very balanced attacking. You know, the freshman setters is doing a really nice job. You know, so I mean, they played great. I mean, the Kentucky match wasn't even close. So and that was at Kentucky. So it's, like I said, it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Done out of all the things you try to accomplish in a season, you know, win a Big Ten championship, win a national championship. How do you value the Creighton game and trying to keep?
Well, originally when we played Creighton, it was just to try to help their program, and now it's become great matches. I mean, 2018 we had a 5-gamer. 2019, I think here we went 4 really close games. So this has become, I mean, like I said, it's a celebration of volleyball. A lot of in-state players, 2 great teams going at it. I mean, Creighton's been very close to getting the Final Four. I mean, I think it was, again, I can't remember what years, but I mean, they were right there against Minnesota a couple times, and so it just shows you the level of volleyball in the state, and Kirsten's done a great job of building that program, and you know, they're a national contender.
Are you pleased with where the team is developmentally wise for this point of the season?
No.
What are you actually that we're actually even behind the curve, or we're?
I feel like we've just started getting a little bit of a rhythm on how we want to play. We're still trying to figure out who goes where. Nicklin's, you know, basically 10 days behind. So I combine all those things. I mean, we have a really high upside when we figure it out. So I know that, and so that's why I'm not happy or satisfied right now, because I know what our upside is, and we haven't done that over a long period of time yet. We've done it in bursts, but not for a long match like we'll have to do Wednesday night and Saturday.
You've done that. You've done some speaking events with Kirsten. Did an NET show last year. What is there anything you respect about how she approaches that Creighton job and how her teams play?
Well, I think they're always really well coached. I think she maximizes her players really well. What they're good at, like. Marissa Wilkinson, I mean, they played her, kind of moved her all over the place, found ways to make her successful. So I think she's really creative. You know, they serve, block, and defense, which is great, and which, you know, I think is, you know, how you win matches, and you know, they compete.
There's always a lot of red at the Nebraska Creighton games. How important it is for Husker fans to get really involved on Wednesday?
Well, I don't know what the crowd numbers are or anything, but you know, we got 8,000 people that want to see us play that don't get to see us play in Devaney, so there's probably 8,000 going up there. And then one of the reasons we go up there is that our fans in Omaha or Council Bluffs or Western Iowa, they get a chance to come see us play. It's also an opportunity for a lot of young girls and high school players to come and see us play, because obviously the CHI up there seats a lot more people. So it's a great atmosphere. I mean, last time we played there, I think it was 14,000, and it was great. So it's great. Again, it's a celebration for these volleyball programs to be able to play in front of that on a national stage on Fox TV.
What's the value for your young players getting able to play in an arena like that, considering what you might face in the postseason?
It's great. That's why we're doing it. So we gotta get used to that, and then next week we're going to Stanford. So we got to put them in those situations so they learn how to manage.
What's the biggest challenge? It's just communication when there's so many people involved and the noise level is a little higher than what you're used to at Devaney.
Yeah, I think I think it's just more staying in the moment. It's a bigger arena. You got the big screen up there, so there's just a little few more distractions. They sell beer there. I'm always looking up there, wondering who's up at the beer garden. Like if Tommy Chattel's up there, or is he really watching the match?
You mentioned last week you wanted to find more ways to work in Akana and Knuckles. Have you found something over this weekend that you like with that, or are you still looking?
We're still messing with it, but we got them in a lot, and they bring a great energy, and they play relentless defense. We have 4. If you look at Nicklin, Roddy, and those 2, those are 4 elite defensive players. Elite.
How has Kenzie kind of handled the adjustment of being the libero, being on the court almost every rotation, to kind of downsize that role? How do you think she's handled it?
I think she's handling it great. I've never seen her play so free and be so happy and enjoying it. And she loves to hit, and we're still developing that. So I think she loves it.
Did you have to talk to her about kind of change expectations or the role change?
The conversation was, you're competing for libero, and if you don't get that, you're going to compete to play back row if you're one of our best passers, defenders, and servers, because that's how we build it. And so either way, this is how you can get on the court.
Speaking in general, what's the biggest positive you've seen out of the freshmen so far, and where's the area you want them to grow the most still?
Want to be more consistent. They do really good things, but they've got to be consistent. Night after night, day after day in practice. And it's always a struggle with freshmen. I was looking back through my old practice notes a couple years ago, and same thing. It's I go through there and good practice, but freshmen struggled, you know. So they've got to learn how to grind every day. That's the biggest challenge.
John, do you think you'll continue to sub?
All ranked teams here the last 2 weeks. How do you feel about how the schedule ramps up?
I like our schedule. It's just now we're getting into ranked teams and playing on the road, so it just the ante goes up. So we got to use that to take our level up and bring out the best in us.
You think you're going to continue to sub as much as you guys have been, or would you like to maybe start to settle in on a more simplified lineup?
I'd like to get a more simplified lineup, but I don't know if we're there yet. You're still, and that's what preseason's for. But by the Big Ten, we got to be in a pretty consistent lineup.
How do you keep it all straight? It seems like you guys are bringing somebody in almost every rotation.
Whiteboard. We write it out on the whiteboard. All right?
Coach,
Yeah.
how does a matchup like this make a statement to possibly bring the NCAA tournament, to Omaha?
Well, it's huge. That's why we just, Omaha had it in 2020, supposed to be there, and then it's coming back next year. So when they see 14,000 up there in Omaha watching a college volleyball match, I mean, we want to fill arenas for the Final Four, and so it's a celebration of the. I think Nebraska is the heartbeat of volleyball in this country, and those are examples of it. Okay, you guys have a good day. Thanks.
how would you assess maybe your first couple games this year? The good and the bad, I'm sure there's kind of a mixed bag for you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the most important thing every week is to get the W, so haven't done that every week, but it's all about moving forward and learning from mistakes and continuing to build on last performance each week and get better every week.
How about you personally?
I mean, yeah, I don't really look at personal stats like that too much. I just want to do whatever I can to help the team win, and I think as a defensive whole, we all have that same mindset, so again, it's all about winning.
You feel more comfortable now than, let's say, you last year?
Yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable, feel really good communicating, and every game I just feel more comfortable out there, and I think a lot of the guys do.
How about physically? How do you feel physically?
Yeah, physically good. Again, just happy to be healthy. Dealing with injuries stinks, so when you're healthy, it's always something that you never take for granted. So yeah, really glad to be healthy.
Where's this defense grown the most over 2 weeks?
I think continued, like, it's always about us every week, like getting better, knowing our issues, and I think every week we're understanding more, like we need to do this, and it's a nameless, faceless opponent, so we have a continued emphasis on getting the ball and disrupting the quarterback, so I think those are all areas that we are improving at and need to continue improving at.
What's something that jumped out from Fordham that you guys think you can focus in on improving this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. Big one was the end of the second quarter, beginning of third quarter, keeping that momentum. I think that's what Austin Allen talked about, and he's really emphasized that because that's a huge momentum boost for us. So if we can own the end of second quarter, beginning of third quarter, we're going to be in good shape.
What do you know about Buffalo? Just you're early studying it right now.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo's a really good team. We're going to need to be ready to go. They have good backs. They're disciplined. But it's about us every week, so we got to continue to know our issues and see if we can pick up some tendencies from them.
Any questions for Nick? Okay, guess not. Thank you. Open for questions, Marquise?
When's the last time you had that many carries in a game, Marquise?
High school. I didn't probably my senior year because I didn't play my junior year.
How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm like 215. This is the lightest I've been since high school, so I feel pretty good. Physically, mentally, I feel pretty good. Just continue to come in and work day in and day out, and just improve on the things that I can do better and that we can do better as a team.
So you played it, was it over 230 at USC when you were there? How heavy did you play?
The heaviest? Oh, snap. Y'all put me on the spot. I was like, at one point my freshman year, I got up. Like, after I got up to like 240 one time. And then the year after that, I was 235 my sophomore year. Last year I played at 225. And then this year, 218, 215. Yeah, so it's been but when I came here, I was originally like 230, especially after the injury and COVID, I was like 230. So.
Did you have family here for the game?
Just my mom, yes, sir.
What'd she think of this place compared to maybe some of the other places?
She was like, I think all the boxes were checked off. She loved the atmosphere. She said the fans were she said they're insane. So it was a pretty good day.
And when you went into the portal, were you confident that you were going to land somewhere pretty quick? Did you not know? Was it what was that experience like for you?
For me, I just coming out. So when I entered the portal, honestly, it was more than kind of high school, the way that everybody shoots at you, just at one time. So I was really just I want this next move to be my best move, and I felt like this is the best place for me to be. Just being on the phone with Coach Held during when I was in the transfer portal. I just felt like this was a great opportunity to come in and compete and just work my butt off, and everything would take care of itself.
How many schools did you hear from in maybe that first couple of days?
I heard from a lot. It was mainly Purdue, Auburn, Michigan State, here, and then I had Miami of Ohio, a couple MAC schools as well. So it was a lot. It was a lot of schools, honestly.
What's it like, Marquise, to see not just you, but so many guys who started their career somewhere else and have had the opportunity now because the rules have changed to come here and impact this program, like Samori and Omar and Oliver Martin. All these guys have been transfers. What's it like for you to be surrounded by those kind of players making an impact now?
It just feels good, especially Samari was my roommate, and so he's my roommate. So when we came in together, it made the transition a lot easier because waking up on a day-to-day basis, somebody's going through the same thing you are. Same with Chris. We kind of from the jump when I first met Chris, it was we're trying to come out here and just earn the respect of our teammates, the coaches, and just continue to just put our best foot forward day in and day out. The transition, it made it our teammates opened us, their arms were open. So when we came in, it was good. They accepted us like family from day one.
You said at the beginning of camp that you felt pretty good and you just want to sort of see how it went in terms of limitations.
Yeah.
Do you feel better now? Do you feel like you've gotten healthier? Or sort of where do you stand at that? Are you 100%?
Definitely. Especially losing weight during camp obviously helps. Takes pressure off that foot, so it definitely helped. I feel better. Definitely, I feel like I'm still not where I want to be health wise, but I think I'm definitely every day I'm working to get there, just to get stronger and stuff. So I feel better than where I was.
One more question?
Do you like that workload, 18 carries that you had on Saturday? I mean, is it something where you feel like you're ready to up that even if needed?
I'm willing to take as many carries as they give me. I embrace it. It was like I said earlier, it was the first time I had gotten those carries in a while. So being able to feel that load was good. It kind of got my feet, get my feet wet again in a sense. Just being able to them trust me with the ball in my hands.
Thank you. We'll have Coach Foss here shortly.
players after coach as well. Questions?
Down in front.
Scott, we were just talking to Marquise, and he was talking about feeling good through camp and maybe even better now. Has he shown you something over the first 2 games that you didn't see in camp, or for him is it just a matter of getting or being fully healthy?
Yeah, I think for him it was just a matter of getting healthy. He showed up with an injury we didn't expect, and it took him for a while to get healthy, and I've seen constant improvement with him, and it seems to continue.
Both with scholarship and non-scholarship players, you've had a lot of success with the transfer portal in the last year. Based on that success, do you think about maybe apportioning more players or working the portal a little bit more for guys that are more seasoned than maybe freshmen?
Potentially. I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg with the transfer portal. There's going to be a lot of that. We definitely want people that fit us from a football standpoint and from a culture standpoint. I love where the locker room is right now and would never want to upset that. It's going to be an interesting year because we're going to have a lot smaller signing class than normal because of the change in eligibility years through COVID. So we'll see where we fall with a number of freshmen and transfers this year.
Geographically, there are some disadvantages to recruiting Nebraska, which you've talked about before. Do those disadvantages go away when you're working with the portal because guys are looking for fits that are schools and not necessarily a place to go?
We'll see. We have a lot of advantages here. Have some uphill battles to fight, but again, I think when people come and see Nebraska and experience game day and see the fans here and get to know what Nebraska's all about, we got a great chance to get anybody that visits here.
With Marquise, USC obviously was a much different style of offense. Diedrich sort of had the same thing when he first got here. Did it take guys a little bit to sort of figure out the rhythm of your run game, and where do you think he's at in that process?
I think you just improve with reps and you improve with game reps, and running backs are no different than anybody else. I was pleased with several of the backs on Saturday. Thought we made a step forward at that position group.
Anything stand out about Adrian's performance last Saturday?
Yeah, I thought he played a really good game. Made the throws he was supposed to make, made good decisions. We had the one ball on the ground, and other than that, he didn't miss much. So that's what we've been seeing in practice, and I expect it to continue from him.
Scott, in your day with those transfers, there weren't as many to lean on each other. Those guys, Marquise was talking about having Samori to help him. How have you seen that as their coach, that they've been able to benefit from having other guys in similar situations as they come in?
Yeah, and you're just more ready for everything that life and football throw at you when you're 21 years old instead of 18. I'm sure it helps those guys to have some peers that are new to the program too, but every one of those guys that transferred in did a great job of being mature and getting to work, training like a pro and learning the offense and defensive and special team schemes. So I think we picked some of the right guys, and they're gonna play a big role this year.
What have you seen from your offensive line? Where do you want to see more growth now going forward?
I thought we made a big step from week 1 to week 2. Still room for improvement, but definitely thought they played a better game.
You said you kind of look at Buffalo even before Saturday. I know they have a new coaching staff, but what sort of jumps out about them and sort of their MO?
Well, their kids know how to win. They played for a conference championship last year. I think they got talent. I've watched their defense more than their offense. They've got good pass rushers, all conference linebackers, good guys up front, and some fast guys in the back. They're very sound in their scheme, very aggressive in their scheme. And they look really well coached. They look like world beaters in game 1. So our guys are preparing and know we have a challenge on Saturday.
What's your thought at punt returner moving forward? Obviously, Cam's a guy who's important to the team, but what do you need to do there?
We got to make good decisions back there. I'm not the type of coach that's going to fire someone from a role if they make a mistake, but the mistakes have to quit. The one on Saturday was a little tough. If that's a bounce in the open field, we want him to feel it. That was probably not the right time to try to do that. But Cam gives us our best opportunity for a big play back there too. So we'll make that decision as we go forward, but I trust Cam.
When you got a chance to go back and watch Logan, did you see similar to the way you played on Saturday after he played?
Yeah, thought Logan did some good things, and again, the biggest thing for me was the moment didn't look too big for him. He looked ready for it and went out and executed the offense, made some good plays with his arm and his legs.
Does Buffalo give you some of the same stuff, some of the same concerns that Illinois did because they're the new staff? I mean, you got the one game on film, but how much can you learn from that?
Yeah, we have one game. Hopefully we can do a good job with that, but they got ahead in that game fast and did some things late in the game that they didn't do in the first 20 snaps. So it's going to be a little bit of a guessing game, but I've experienced a game with their defensive coordinator before. He did a really good job. They whipped us. So I know he's going to have the guys ready, and we're going to do our best to try to guess what kind of scheme they're going to be running.
Coach, it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11 on Saturday. Do you remember where you were that day and anything that you still remember to this day about that day and the days following?
Yeah, it was a tough time for the country. I was in Berea, Ohio, had just gotten released by the Jets and picked up off waivers by the Cleveland Browns, and got up in the morning at a hotel to head into work and turned on the TV and saw what was happening. So it doesn't seem like it was 20 years ago. I'm really proud of Ora Garst and our team and the video they put out, and have gotten a lot of good messages about that. He's really talented. Having D-Jax on the team and being part of that was pretty special. So it's something that should be remembered and honored, and our little token, the little bit we can do to help honor it is worth doing.
A little off topic maybe, but I know you're busy, but did you get a chance to see Mackenzie play for the first time last night in more than 3 years?
I didn't get to watch. I was in the office till about midnight last night, game planning. So I didn't get to watch, and then looked at my phone and saw a bunch of messages about it. But KZ's like family. He's family to me, and he went through something hard, and I'm glad to see him having some success again. He deserves it.
I know we asked about Omar a lot, even when he's not playing, but he has been playing more. And what are you starting to see from him as he sort of grows with the offense?
Yeah, Omar's talented. It's just a matter of being out there, and when he's out there, he'll make plays. He's done a really good job of that through fall camp, and with Oliver down last week, he got even more reps, and I thought he took advantage of it. And when he's out there, we're a better team.
How have you seen Cam respond this week to the kind of a rough first couple of weeks for him?
I don't think he's had a rough first couple of weeks. He's played really well on defense. He's had 2 bad plays. If you look at any player on our team, they've had 2 bad plays in 2 games. So I wouldn't characterize it as a rough start. We just got to make better decisions on punt return.
Brought Bando out for any extended period of time or no?
No, Brock had an illness, and it shouldn't be long.
So speaking of some of those other players, I know you mentioned Oliver, it was nothing serious, but Casey Rogers still working back. Is that starting to come into focus to get those guys back?
Yeah, all those guys, Oliver, Casey, Travis, they're all getting close.
What have you seen from Teddy Prohaska that's allowed him to get on the field? I know he played a lot of young guys, but he in particular seems like he's come on pretty fast.
Yeah, Teddy's had a really good camp. Anytime you're an early enrollee, I think it gives you an advantage, and he got a lot of reps early. And he's got a ton of potential, and you're starting to see that shine through. He did a really good job in the offseason turning his body into a guy that looks like he's been in college for 4 years already, and it won't be very long before he's helping us. So the more reps we can get, the better we are.
How about another freshman like Marquise Buford? It seems like he's been finding a lot of ways to get onto the field. What is it about him in that position that he's been able to make that quick an impact?
Well, when you get down to, roster, guys that are going to travel and get a chance to play are the guys that are helping on special teams. And Marquise has done a great job on defense, but he's also, taking special teams seriously and contributing on that. And that's going to give him opportunities on defense. But he's another young guy with a bright future.
Anything else, guys?
Thanks, Scott.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Scott.
Two after Adrian. Questions?
Hey, Adrian, a little something talking about crowd noise, you know, because it was different. You guys played in front of a crowd versus last year where you didn't. Was there any communication issues at all? Was it hard dealing or adjusting to having all that noise where you didn't last year?
I wouldn't say so. I think with the group of guys we have, we know crowd noise or not, communication is a big deal, so we emphasize that, and we haven't had any issues.
Looking back on Saturday's film, how do you think you played overall?
Pretty solid, you know. There's always a few things I wish I could have back, a few miscommunications, and we're getting those cleaned up. That's part of the game, and I'm glad we put them on film so we can get them fixed. It's always better after a win, right?
What's your early impression? Have you been able to study Buffalo at all? What do you kind of think of what they show on defense?
Yeah, well, they're an athletic, talented group, and they're going to be ready to play. They played a really good, solid first game. Obviously put up a lot of points on Wagner, I believe. And they're going to come in here and challenge us, so we have to be ready to go.
I know you guys are prepping for every game like it's a big game, but is it easy now in college football to realize that the gap between so-called halves, you know, the Power Fives and those that aren't is lessened?
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw it was a great week of college football last week, and you saw Montana beat Washington, and you saw schools from FCS to non-Power 5 schools. I mean, it's like you alluded to, it's more of a level playing field now than ever, and anyone can beat anyone on any given Saturday, so you have to be ready to go.
What did you notice about maybe the knowledge level that Samari and Marquise had when they came here? They played at other schools for 3-4 years. What did you learn? What did you notice about how much they knew about the collegiate game?
Yeah, well, it definitely helps in that transition to understanding the playbook, knowing how to play football, knowing what it's like to play big-time college football. There's definitely an element to that I think has helped their transition and made them able to play right away.
How much are you able to watch other games? I mean, is that something you do, or do you want to stay away from it, or how do you work that?
Yeah, it depends. It all depends. You know, if we're coming off a tough loss, I don't necessarily want to go watch football right away. You know, I might take a break and then watch it at night. But I love the game. I love college football. I love NFL. So, you know, when Minnesota and Ohio State was playing, I was watching that game, and it's fun. It's what it's about. So I try. It's not like I sit down and probably watch an entire day on Saturday. You know, I have my own game, have my own things to focus on. So.
What did you think of how Logan played on Saturday?
It was awesome. Awesome getting to see him get out there and just enjoy playing the game. Thought he made some really nice decisions, and I know he was happy that he got to go out there and showcase his skills a little bit.
Well, why is that important for him? What reasons?
Yeah, well, you know, as opposed to, you know, someday say he gets his first start and, you know, that's the first time he ever gets in a college game. I think just getting his feet under him a little bit and seeing what it's like playing in front of Memorial and having that type of environment, I think it's big for a young guy, and just a little confidence boost as well. A little assurance comes along with that.
Do you have any feedback for him afterward?
Yeah, of course, but, you know, nothing I have to share with you guys, so.
Adrian, they gave some tickets to some younger kids who don't necessarily always get to go to Husker games. Did you get to meet any of them? And
yeah, I got to talk with some of the kids that were a part of the road race the day before, and you know, there was a lot of noise made about, you know, the sellout streak and the amount of fans that were going to be in the stands, and you can focus on that side, or there's the other side where, man, what an opportunity some of these kids who have never been able to come to a game got. After the game, I got to take a picture with the Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln. You could just see the joy on their faces, you know, how much it meant to them to be there. They'd never experienced anything like that. And I'm just blessed to be in the position that I'm in to have that sort of impact. It was amazing, and I hope they enjoyed it. And I know there were countless other kids who got that first opportunity on Saturday, and it's something something to cherish, something that's special.
What kind of seeds does that plant, do you think, some of these kids?
Yeah, well, maybe for some of them it gives them a goal, something to shoot for, something to aspire to. And hopefully myself and the other teammates were good examples of what young men should look like and how they should act. Maybe they didn't know that was something that was attainable for them, and they're getting to see that on full display in Lincoln, Nebraska. So pretty cool stuff.
Hey, Adrian, we talk about the running game and how beneficial it is when it's working, how beneficial it is for you in the passing, but if you could explain to the average fan, like, why is that so important?
Yeah, well, it's huge. I'd say it's the foundation of our offense, of most offenses. You get the run game going, the defense, you're no longer as predictable, Get the defense on their toes a little bit. They have to defend the run. And it's big for our O-linemen, big for pass rush. It's monumental for the entire offense.
How do you think Sept played on Saturday?
Yeah.
And how good is it to have a workhorse back?
100%, yeah. And, someone else had asked it earlier, but he has experience playing in college football, and getting his feet under him here at Nebraska, I think it was big for him this last game, and it's huge for our backfield to have a guy who can take a lot of carries. But I know there are other guys in that room as well who will be ready if needed.
You guys are going to wear the alternate uniforms this week. What are your thoughts on the jerseys you'll be wearing?
Could you repeat the last part?
What do you think of the jerseys you guys are going to be wearing?
They're sweet. I mean, did you see Damian Jackson, his little video? I mean, it's awesome. I'm excited about it. Anytime we get a chance to wear alternates, it's a pretty cool deal for us. So have to make the most of it and win the game. That's what it's really about.
Adrian, you're obviously so young, but 20 years ago, 9/11, what kind of impact does it have on not just you, but your generation? A lot of people in this room lived through it, but what was the impact on you?
Yeah, just for reference, I was born in 2000, so hopefully that makes some of you guys feel old. But yeah, but yeah, it's an important part of our culture, and something that we grow up in schools with every year, and something we'll never forget. I got the chance to visit New York and visit the Twin Towers, the memorial, which is very special for me, and it's huge, and they have, just thousands of names across that structure there, and it's a big part of America, and I'm thankful we get to represent in some form and hopefully make those proud that served.
You said on Saturday you were more calm than the week prior. What's the key for you to find that feeling each week?
Yeah, and searching for that and I've found it. It's the key for me is just continuing to study in the film room and trust my teammates is the big thing. Trust that they're going to do their jobs and I have a job to do myself.
Why is the film part so important?
Makes things a little less, the defense is going to do what they're going to do. You can't necessarily predict always what they're going to be in, but it makes things a little more predictable on my end. And you strive, the quarterback position is a bit of a thinking position, but you don't want to think too much, right? So taking a little bit of that equation out of it and things becoming easier on that end when you spend more time in the film room.
What do you think of how the offensive line is gelling as a unit chemistry-wise?
Yeah, I feel really good about that room right now and the culture that they're setting, continuing to build. It's an ever-going process, and that group's only getting better.
Anything else for Adrian? All right, thank you. Thanks, Adrian.
All right, questions for Ben?
Ben, what's just your general assessment? I guess there are 2 games of the defense, sort of a summary of what you like. What are some things where you thought there's more in the tank for you guys.
Yeah, obviously started really fast against Illinois. That was a positive, and then came out soft in the beginning of the second half. So I thought we fixed that. We've really emphasized that, coming out strong second half. But then we started slow. So I think we started slow the beginning of the game as far as defensively. So kind of putting it together. Starting fast, and then obviously having a good emphasis on the start of the second half as well.
How much was that slow start about what Fordham was doing game plan wise?
Yeah, I mean, they schemed us up well, ran a lot of RPOs, and it puts a lot of stress on the backers, and it's tough for up front to do much against that besides getting your hands up. So they schemed us up well. They tempoed us, weren't ready for, I guess, that amount of tempo that fast. So yeah, I mean, they came out threw everything they had at us, and so it was a lot for us to handle. But obviously we adapted and overcame it after the first couple series there.
When did you? First couple series, is that when you felt like you were first set, when you were getting settled in?
Yeah. For sure, I think it was that first series. They were going real fast, and we ended up getting kind of bend don't break mentality there, and ended up getting the tip and the interception. So yeah, I mean, it definitely took a couple series just to get used to that tempo.
I think Buffalo led the country last year in yards per rush. Just watching them on tape, what do you see from them? I know they lost some guys, but they've got some of the same dudes back.
Yeah, skill position wise, their back is elite. That'll be a good test for us. Bringing back two of their quality linemen up front, and then they got a couple of new guys up front too. So they obviously looked really good week one, and so it'll be a good test for us, I think, in the run game.
I don't know. Does it change things at all when it's a team that maybe they grind it out and they like to chew clock, kind of melt the game away? Does that put any extra pressure on getting off the field, knowing that if they convert a first down, it adds, more time goes off the clock, stuff like that?
Yeah, obviously we want to, especially with how our offense works, we want to get them the ball, give them as many opportunities as they can get. And that's our job, is to get the ball back to the offense as quickly as possible, and get them as many series as they can throughout the game. So yeah, with any team, that's an emphasis, but especially with a team that wants to run the ball.
That video released of Damian Jackson, what'd you think of that, and what's Damian like as a teammate and as a person?
Yeah, that was a really cool video. I told Aura that I thought that he always does a great job, obviously, but I thought that was a really exceptional video. Damian, he's all you can ask for in a teammate, and a leader, and how he comes about his business and how he works. I don't think there's a guy on this team you could ask what their opinion was, and I think a lot of guys just admire his work ethic, and obviously I don't even know how old he is, 27, 26, whatever he's doing at his age, and going through the grind, it's really impressive.
I asked Adrian about this, but did you get to meet some of the young kids who got tickets through the program this weekend? They gave tickets to
the red carpet deal?
Yeah.
No, there was from the road race. There were some kids in that were involved with the road race, and we saw them Friday night, but none of the red carpet kids.
That's sort of a follow-up, I guess, just as a Nebraska kid, what's the significance in sort of getting that next generation, where Husker football Saturdays are just a big deal to them,
Yeah, I think it's something you saw, recently with some of these kids, these in-state kids not wanting to come here, and this not being their first choice. It's kind of been a trend, and I think a part of that is obviously them growing up and not seeing a ton of success here. And so it's definitely something that's important. Myself personally, it was a dream of mine to come here, no matter how the team was performing. And so I guess reinstilling that back in kids as they come up in their age.
Other questions for Ben?